Right. I don't really know where we go with that opening, but hey, we're here. Is it Thursday?
Yes, it is Thursday.
You know what? Yeah, the All-Star game and all of that has kind of thrown me off. And then we did the drops contest. But Thursday, 2:00, I'm here. Mike still celebrating his victory from the 5th annual Stony and Wojo contest. There's a lot going on. There's something that is brewing with Disney and ESPN. We're going to try to get to that later on today. But I do want to start with this. If you were watching any of the NBA Summer League over the weekend, the NBA announced their in-season tournament. And the initial reactions, a lot of people were like, okay, well, I don't understand it. Richard Jefferson was out there trying to break it down. Cade Cunningham was out there, I guess, kind of representing Detroit. Victor Wembanyama, Steve Kerr, a lot of names were out there, Trae Young. The tournament is simply this. It's in season. It starts November 3rd. It goes all the way to December 9th. You take the 30 NBA teams, you divide them up into 6 different divisions with 5 teams in each division. The Pistons happen to be in East Division Group A, which is the Pistons, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Celtics, the Hawks, and the Pacers. You're going to play each one of those teams on either Tuesday or Friday. You get 2 home games, 2 road games. So that's yet to be determined. But you're going to play those 4 teams, and those games will count towards the regular season standings. The winner of the division automatically moves on. So whoever has the highest record between those 5 teams moves on. So that's 6 teams, plus they're going to take 2 wild card teams. You then move on to the quarterfinals, which will be played on December 4th and 5th on a Monday and Tuesday. Now, it's kind of genius. The NBA is understanding that, okay, we're kind of infringing on the NCAA football's toes, but not really, because that's going to be the Monday and Tuesday after college championship week. So those games will take place on Saturday, and then on Monday and Tuesday, you get the quarterfinal games. And then the top 4 teams finish this thing off in Las Vegas December 7th, and championship game is December 9th, a Thursday and a Saturday. Every game counts that you play except for the championship game. So in theory, 2 teams are going to play 83 games this year, minimum. But I'll get to, they're going to be compensated financially. I'll get to that in a minute. You're saying, okay, why are you explaining all this to me? I'm going to say this. This in-season tournament, probably the best thing that could happen to Detroit Pistons and Detroit Pistons fans. Before you just blow it off and say, it's ridiculous, think about this. It's really not. This tournament is what is needed if you are a Pistons fan. Why? Because you will care about this team out of the gate. When are people most optimistic about the Tigers? Opening day. Sellout crowds, opening day. People are down there. You're excited. Heck, yesterday we had full phone lines just talking Detroit Lions. They haven't played yet. But when it comes to hockey, they got DeBrincat. You're excited for the Wings. But when it comes to the NBA and the Pistons, we have already written them off as, well, this team's going to suck this year. Guess what? Not necessarily so. This is a great thing for the Pistons because now, and the Pistons as well, because now you have something to play for at the beginning of the season. Now, as soon as the season starts, you can focus on trying to win or at least get to the Final Four of this in-season tournament. You can kind of plant your flag and state your case of saying this is a building block. Why? Think of it, for you basketball fans, it's almost like the NIT tournament. Major teams who get placed in the NIT tournament rarely win that thing. They don't want to be there. The Celtics, the Sixers, bigger fish to fry. You don't. So you can go in there, you can attack these games with a winning mentality of trying to get to Las Vegas. It will give Monty something to build on. It will give a team that is so young confidence of knowing We won something. I don't know. You may say, well, it's ridiculous. It's like winning the bubble championship. You know what? At the end of that bubble championship is the word championship. You still won something. You did something no one else has done. Now, after that, you go with the regular season. But if you can make it to the Final Four, you can see that, okay, we've accomplished something. And maybe, just maybe, this team can catapult and do something better. Instead of just writing this team off, I think every Detroiter should be invested in this tournament because I think the Pistons will with a young team. No one's injured. Everybody's dialed in. Everybody's focused. This is the best thing. When I saw this and really thought about it, I'm like, man, the Pistons need to take advantage of this. No load management, guys. Come right out the gate and do something. 248-539-9797. I think this is the best thing that can happen for them. Because when you think about it, Golden State, well, let's just stay in the East, the Celtics, the Sixers, the Bucks, they're not really trying to win this thing. So if they win, they win. But if not, okay, you get the load management from players. Pistons are too young to do load management. You're going to have Cade and Jaden Ivey in the backcourt pretty much for the first time since they've started playing together. This is your opportunity with Duren. This is your opportunity to mix in the rookies and really set the mark for this team so that you're not just already looking forward to next year's draft. You got an opportunity to win something, to feel good about yourself, to give this team, Monty, Troy Weaver, something to build upon. I do think that it's an accomplishment. Oh, no, by the way, if you make it to the quarterfinals, you get $50,000. If you make it to the semifinals, you get $100,000. If you make it to the championship game and lose, you get $200,000. And if you make it and you win the whole thing, every player on the team gets $500,000. So when you get to the Final Four, there's some money on the line. You make it to the championship game, you're playing for an extra $300,000 a person. So I think that players will be locked in, dialed in. I know people are thinking it's a silly tournament, but I beg you, it's not. This is something that can help the Pistons out. This will keep interest as well because when do most people get focused on the NBA, David? It's after it's Christmas.
Christmas and beyond, yeah.
Because games don't count until Christmas. No. This is going to be played before Christmas.
They still don't count. They still don't count until Christmas.
David.
I think this tournament is dumb, and I am so upset because the league is folding for LeBron James. This is the only way LeBron James can feel like he wins anything now. It's an in-season tournament.
You hate LeBron that much? No, it is.
Oh, I know it is.
No, it's an in-season tournament. No, it's an in-season tournament. What the NBA is trying to do is trying to eliminate load management. So they dangled money in front of the players and say, hey, guys, instead of sitting out the first month or two of the season, how about you play a game? We'll give you an incentive. We'll give you money. We'll send you out to Vegas. There'll probably be no games that weekend. So even if you're not a part of the Final Four, every NBA celebrity and star is going to be sitting courtside watching these games. This is a chance for the Pistons and teams like that to get exposure, for people to see what you have, and for, let's face it, for our guys to play on the big stage. I don't think they're ready to go out there and challenge the top teams in the NBA Finals. But in a college tournament type setting, yeah, I think that they can do this, especially because they'll be a little more motivated than the other teams in the NBA. I think it's the best thing that could happen for them. 248-539-9797. We'll get your phone calls. We'll get your ticket text next. 97.1.